we had one or two people who were going to contemplate something over lunchtime.
Yeah.
Can I hear from you? One with you. Oh, you too. Okay. So, what do you think? What did you learn?
Well, it's something I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I don't think of myself as. And I do have example and counterexamples. And I don't think of myself as not that.
But you have a few counterexamples.
I do have
When you were not that. Okay.
when I was not.
Okay, but you don't have a whole database full?
No.
Let's go for it. Are we willing?
I got it.
Okay. We need a mic.
few more examples in my database that work out.
Okay. All set? You want to talk? Say something?
Hello,
Mic
hello.
check? Okay, great.
Thanks.
Okay, so you've got a something you'd like to have as a quality, and
Yes.
You've checked a little bit to make sure that you don't think of yourself as having it already, and also
That's
that you don't not think of yourself as having it. And you have a few counterexamples. In other words, there were a few times when you behaved in a way that was definitely the opposite of the quality.
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't not think of myself as having it. I don't have it yet,
Okay.
is what I would say.
Okay, that sounds good. Yet.
Yes.
Well, we'll do a long-term follow-up in about 10 minutes, and we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. Now, first, do a really thorough congruence check. Close your eyes, go inside, think about the quality as you describe it, as you think about it, and you have some images, I'm sure, of how that would manifest in the world. If you were that quality, how would you behave, what would you do, and so on. I think we've got one window still open here a little bit. And just check to see if you have any possible objection to having that as a part of who you are.
No. It's very context sensitive. I mean, it's
Okay.
in a single sports
this is
context.
something you would have only in one context, rather than all over?
Well, I think so because it's simpler that way. I mean, I can broaden it to all of life, and in fact, I think that's what I'll do. Considering it a fractal.
Okay, all right. I would suggest broadening it
Okay.
and thinking about it as something that you might exhibit most powerfully in a particular context,
Okay.
but that you could exhibit throughout life. Grace is something that, or graceful movement, for instance, is something that usually you think of in terms of sports or something like that. But you can pick up a piece of toast gracefully. You can reach for a doorknob gracefully. You can turn the pages on a flip chart with grace. So if you think about it, self-concept is one of these things we want it to go throughout context. If it's a specific behavior, then we might want to contextualize it. But in general, when we're talking self-concept, we want something that goes through time and across context. Does that work for that quality?
Yes.
Okay, great. And no objections?
No, because it's got built-in appropriateness.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Now, if there had been some objections, I would ask him to revise the content of the quality, redescribe it, think of different images that would be appropriate, maybe give it a new name, but adjust it so that it really fits with all the other things that he is as a person. Okay, now tell me about your positive template.
Okay, my summary picture is is in front of me. It's
Nice big one.
it's a big one,
Okay.
and around the frame are
Oh, yeah, that's right.
the
Around the frame.
positive stills that
Right.
I can pull down, and the summary picture is a movie.
Right.
Color, sound. Sound is important, very important, as is the movement and the color. The other examples are around the frame. I have some counter examples that have in the lower right hand part of the frame that are now in the kind of in categories, and they're in the form of a slideshow. And I've transformed a couple of those.
Okay, a couple yet to do.
Yes.
Okay,
But
great. Well, you can do that at your leisure.
yes.
Okay, great. So now we have the structure of what we will use to build a new one. And now, let's see if oh, okay. We've already tuned it up. We've got the positive template. He's already tuned it up and added some other things. So now we want to take this structure that you have and build the big picture last. So I want
Okay.
you to put things around the edge first,
Okay.
specific examples of having this quality.
Okay.
And first go into your memory and and into your memories of other people as well, other people who've exhibited this quality, yourself having exhibited this quality, and just start putting in around the edge of the frame. Take all the time you need. And let your unconscious mind help you a lot with this. Things will just pop up that you might not have consciously thought of, but just come to you. And along the way, it may be appropriate to put in a couple of counterexamples that you can transform later. Make sure those go in the lower right.
Okay, I have about 7 of mine and maybe 3. I could add more of others.
Okay. Well, is there any space around there still?
Yes.
Just take a little more time.
Okay.
And remember that you can always take some of those examples that you already have and transform them into different perceptual positions.
Okay.
Pick something in different contexts, although maybe this is most appropriate in one context. Think about examples from other contexts. You can make up future examples. Carry you into the future. Take a little more time until
Okay.
you have all those border pictures, all those places filled. And when you get all those border pictures in, and so all the spots are filled, then get a summary image that you derive from all those different images that you have. This is what we call long-term therapy.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you got the summary?
Yeah.
And is that all satisfactory?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you this kind of person?
I'm sorry?
Are you this kind of person? Whatever word you would use to describe this to someone else?
as you can tell, there's a little doubt.
Hesitation.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little doubt. Yeah,
And where does the doubt come from? You know?
the counterexamples.
Okay. Take a little time and transform a couple of those.
Okay.
You can do it as simple as tape editing and seeing what you did in the past, and just redoing that tape until it's satisfactory. Future pacing that into the future. I thought of something else that might be useful to test. You said
Okay.
that the sound and the motion was important.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be useful to test and make sure that each of those images around the outside you can put into the center and have them be moving and with sound. Except you probably wouldn't want to do those with the counterexamples that haven't
Okay.
been transformed. Leave them flat or somehow
That's okay.
less robust, less evocative. It's looking better now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you this kind of person?
Yeah.
How does it feel?
It feels different.
Uh-huh.
And there's more than that moment. That is, there's actually what I should do is back up each one a little bit and put in setting intention.
Okay, go ahead
So
and
let
do
me
that.
do that.
Yeah, set your intention. Does that mean making the movie a little longer? So
A little bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sure, do that.
Okay.
Okay? Are you this kind of person?
Yeah.
And is it okay with you? Do an all points internal congruence check. Make sure it looks good to me, but you never know. Some part might be hiding out, objecting somehow, or have some concern.
No, because it's No, I have none. It's makes a better me.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Well, it makes a better me, yeah.
Do you hear his voice change?
Yeah.
Different voice now. Do you hear it?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
A little softer. A little
Yeah.
richer.
Well, my body feels different.
In what way?
Well, I could feel myself as you were guiding me. I could feel my body just kind of
Move a little?
moving. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely in the moving, and but easier. There's ease or something that
Mm-hmm.
I feel.
I think that's what I hear in your voice.
Yeah.
It's more of an ease and a softness and a flowing quality. Great.
Thank you.
How soon will we be able to test this?
Um,
I mean, when are you likely to get feedback? Today, tomorrow,
this afternoon.
this afternoon? Great. Well, check in with us and let us know how it goes.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions of him? Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Thanks a lot. Okay, do you have any questions of me?
Part of my confusion with this is the difference between the quality and the skill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you might say, what, like for you, you might want to be more musical.
Mm-hmm.
You said I didn't grow up with music.
Right.
So is that a quality or is that a skill?
Well, it's a good question, and I don't have a good answer. It's basically how you describe something and how you think of something. There's no hard and fast definition. You cannot exhibit a quality without having some kind of behavior. But a quality is a little more general than a specific skill. So, for instance, in terms of a movement, or let's say smoothness of coordination or something like that, that's something that you can exhibit in many, many different specific contexts, many different specific behaviors. So I would call that a quality rather than a skill. A skill, I think of something specific like learning how to spell or being able to kick a football or something like that, that it's fairly narrowly contextualized. But it's just a matter of how you think about it, really.
I'm going back to that grid about competence, confidence that you laid out.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, okay, may have confidence about, say, being more coordinated or something, but
Mm-hmm.
there may be some competence I need to develop
Well,
to go with that.
that's entirely possible, and of course you can always improve. But I really think it's just a matter of how far are you going to generalize. And if I speak of a quality, I'm talking about something that generalizes pretty broadly. If I'm talking about a skill, I'm talking about something that's a little more narrowly contextualized. Now, this kind of thing will work with anything. You can do it with a skill. But it's more interesting if you do it with a quality because it affects more of your behavior.
And that's why you asked me sort of to generalize it.
Yeah. Well, when we're dealing with self-concept, it's mostly in terms of qualities that you are, period, irrespective of context. And that you can choose to exhibit in a context or not. You can choose to do it or not, but it's part of who you are, irrespective of context. And you might exhibit it more in one context than another, but it's part of who you are, not just part of what you do. There's the old thing about the difference between a human doing and a human being. And we're talking human being here. Who are you? And, you know, even that is not a digital distinction, because there are some things that are so much a part of you that if they vanished, you'd be totally lost. There are other things that if they're a part of you, but if you lost them due to disability or disease or something, it would be too bad, but not a disaster. I've been a skier for 50 years, and now my knees are bone on bone osteoarthritis, and it doesn't work so well anymore. But still, I got up twice last year, and if I take it easy and I'm reasonable, I can still enjoy it. But there will come a time when that's not longer possible, if I live long enough. So, we'll see. Any questions about building equality? Having observed this, there's not a lot to observe because he's doing most of the work inside. I don't have to do very much. And having had various discussions, how many of you now think of something that you would like to build? Okay, several of you. And some of you not. Here's what I suggest. We'll do the exercise. I can review this very quickly if you want, although I did it already and I think it's pretty clear. Does anyone have any questions about this? Do I need to review this? I don't think so. It's in your notes. But if anybody has a question, now's a good time. Each of you who wants to be wants to have something built, make sure that you're in a group with someone who doesn't. And then the other people can scatter around. But do it in threes so that one of you can observe, one of you can be the doer, forget what you call them now. The guide. Yes, the guide. Thank you. We've been doing this so long, and the word for these things keeps evolving, and I'm always 2 steps behind. So that one of you can be a guide, one of you can be an explorer, and then I think there may be a few more people than groups. So some of you will have 2 people who want to be explorers, and go for it. And let's go for about 25 minutes, and I'll see if that's enough time for you. Any questions? So do this in threes, and at least one person in each group has something they want to build. Okay? See you in 25.